Everyone, so welcome to my channel. So myself Raza, and in this video I am going to discuss the topic irrational numbers of class 10 chapter real numbers. Right, so what is meant by irrational number? So numbers which are not rational numbers. So that is, so what is a rational number? A number which can be expressed in the form of p by q such that p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. Then such a number is called as a rational number. So if we cannot represent a number in the form of rational number, then we can say such numbers as irrational numbers. So simply what we can say, a number which is not rational is irrational. So generally the irrational numbers are denoted by the letter q dash, and already we know the rational numbers are denoted by the letter q, so its complement is nothing but irrational numbers q dash, or sometimes this particular irrational numbers are denoted by the letter s. Right, so in your previous class, that is 9th class, so you have learnt about irrational numbers and their properties, and there you have learnt that root 2 is irrational, root 3 is irrational. So how come you say that root 2 is irrational and root 3 is irrational? So there we have done the process of long division. So by using long division method, so we have converted the given root 2 and or root 3 into its decimal expansion, and from finding out the decimal expansion you have come to one conclusion that the given irrational number is having non-terminating, non-recurring. So what is that? So non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. If it is a non-terminating or non-recurring decimal, that is NT NR. So this is the short form that you can remember. So for rational numbers already you are having terminating decimal and non-terminating repeating decimal. So if you have these two formats, then you can simply say that the given number is rational, whereas for irrational numbers it should be of this form, so non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. So then we can say that the given numbers are irrational numbers. And we have studied about pi. So pi is also an irrational number, e is an irrational number. So these are general examples of irrational numbers. Right, so to show that these are irrational numbers, so we have found their decimal expansions. But in our 10th class we are going to prove that these root 2, root 3 and such numbers are called as irrationals. So we are going to prove, and this particular exercise is very important for board examinations. Right, now we are going to learn all these things in this particular video. Now let us see. To prove all this, we are going to follow a particular theorem. So the theorem states that, so whenever you are having a prime number p, so p is nothing but a prime number, and you need to have an idea, so what is a prime number, right? So prime number means it has only two factors, that is 1 and itself. And the statement states that if p divides a square, where a is a positive integer, so positive integer means some z plus, so a is a positive integer, if p divides a square, then p divides a. So this is what the statement of this theorem states. Right, now let us see the proof of this theorem. Now what I am going to do is I am going to consider the particular positive integer a. So let the positive integer a be considered in its prime factorization form. So that is nothing but p1 into p2 into p3 into so on pn. Already we have learned how to convert the given number into its product of prime factors. So likewise we have written here where p1, p2, p3 and so on are prime numbers, not necessarily distinct. So we can repeat the prime number. So instead of writing in its exponential form, we are writing term by term. Right, now he has given p divides a square. So for that what I am going to do is, with a I am going to take the value of a square. So a square I can write as p1 into p2 into so on pn into p1 into p2 into so on pn, which I can write as p1 square into p2 square into so on pn square. Now in the statement he has given that p divides a square. He given p divides a square. So p divides a square means, that means when a square is divided by p, the remainder will be 0. So when remainder is 0, so already from the factor theorem we have learned that p will become one of the factors of a square. P will become one of the factors of a square. Now already from the fundamental theorem of arithmetic we can say that p is one of the factors of a square, right? Now in this a square, we initially what we have considered, so a square means p1 into p2 into so on pn into p1 into p2 and so on pn. That means it is having the prime factors p1, p2, p3 so on pn. Now among these prime numbers, so there will be one particular prime number p. So that means among these prime factors we are having one particular prime factor p. So we can say that among this p1, p2, p3 so on pn, p is one of my factors. Then this p will be contained in a also, no? Because a is product of p1 into p2 into so on pn. That means in this p1 into p2 into p3 into so on pn, so one of the particular prime factors will be p. So clearly we can say that p also divides a. So p also divides a. So here two things we need to remember. The first one is p should be a prime number and a should be a positive integer. Now based on this, so we are going to have one problem, right? So we are going to solve this. So we need to verify the statement. So what is meant by statement? So statement is nothing but a sentence, so which can be either true or false, but not both. So already you have learned in your 9th class, right? So statement means a sentence, so which can be either proved to be true or false, but not both. Okay, now here p is prime number, so p is equal to 2, p is equal to 5. We need to check for these two prime numbers, and he has given a square is equal to 1, 4, 9, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. Now this 1 I can write as 1 square, 4 I can write it as 2 square, 9 I can write it as 3 square, 25 I can write it as 5 square, 36 is nothing but 6 square, 49 is 7 square, 64 is 8 square, this is 9 square. Now what I am going to do is I am going to consider the first case. If p is equal to 2, if p is equal to 2, then we are going to verify the statement. So what is the statement? If p divides a square, then p divides a. If p divides a square, then p divides a. If p doesn't divides a square, then p won't divide a also, right? So that is what we are going to verify. So first of all, a square is equal to 1 I have considered. Now if you observe, this 2 won't divide 1 square because 1 is less than 2. So clearly what I can say, so 2 is not dividing a square, then 2 also won't divide 1. Hence this statement is wrong. So this won't satisfy. Next, when I consider a square is equal to 4, so a square is equal to 4 means 2 square. So 2 will divide 4. 2 will divide 4. That means 2 will divide, what is a here then? So a is equal to 2. So 2 will divide 2. So that means it satisfies. When a square is equal to 9, when a square is equal to 9, so 2 won't divide 9 because 2 is even number and 9 is odd number. So clearly it won't satisfy. Next, if a square is equal to 25, so the same case, because 25 is odd and p prime number is 2. Next, if a square is equal to 36, so this will satisfy. 2 divides 36, then 2 divides 6 also. 2 divides 6 also, right? Next, if a square is equal to 49, so it won't so 2 won't divide a square, so clearly 2 won't divide 7 also. Next, if a square is equal to 64, so it divides. Next, if a square is equal to 81, so it won't divide. Next, moving on to 5. So if p is 5, then you try to solve the same process, right? So the only thing that will be divided is nothing but 25. Remaining all will not satisfy, because you already know the factorization process of 5, right? Next, moving on to the application of this particular theorem. So using this theorem, how can we prove that root 2 is irrational, right? So this is nothing but the most important models in your textbook, so which will be often asked in your board examinations. The first one is show that root 2 is irrational. Now this particular method is nothing but called as contradiction method. So we are going to follow the contradiction method. So using this contradiction method, so we are going to prove that root 2 is irrational. Root 2 is irrational. So likewise we are going to have some more proofs. Now let us see how can we prove that root 2 is irrational. Now let us see the proof of this. So since this method is called contradiction method, so we are going to disprove the statement. So by disproving the statement, so we are going to prove this, right? Now first of all, what I am going to do is, so let us assume that root 2 is a rational number. So what I am going to do is I am going in the reverse way. So let us assume that root 2 is a rational number. So whenever you say that root 2 is rational, we know that, so what do we know? When root 2 is rational, then rational can be represented in the form of p by q only, no? So I am going to represent this root 2 is equal to a by b, such that a comma b is having HCF 1. That means there are no common factors for a and b. So all the cancellation is done and we are having a and b as co-primes. That means their HCF is equal to, or GCD is equal to 1, and here the condition is b is not equal to 0 because the denominator should not be equal to 0. Now in the next step, so what I am going to do is, so I am going to square it on both sides. So squaring on both sides. So when I do squaring on both sides, so what you are going to have? Root 2 whole square is equal to a by b whole square. Now when I do squaring, so this square root 2 whole square will become 2. So 2 is equal to a square by b square. Now when you cross multiply this, I can write it as 2 times of b square is equal to a square. 2 times of b square is equal to a square. Now clearly if you observe this clearly, here a square is equal to 2 times of b square. Already we have learnt in the previous theorem that when a particular number divides a square, now this a square is nothing but 2 times of b square, right? So 2 times of b square means it is nothing but an even number. So 2 times of b square means it is an even number. So if it is equal to a square, then clearly what I can say, so this is nothing but a multiple of 2. So this whole value is a multiple of 2, which is nothing but equal to a square. So clearly a square is a multiple of 2. A square is a multiple of 2. So from that what I can say, from that theorem, so from the previous theorem what we have discussed, we can say that 2 divides a square. 2 divides a square because this is an even number, right? So 2 divides a square. So clearly from that theorem what we can say, if 2 divides a square, then 2 divides a also. If 2 divides a square, then 2 divides a also. If 2 divides a, then I can write a is equal to some 2 times of k plus, sorry, a is equal to 2 times of some constant k, where k belongs to positive integer, right? So k is equal to some positive integer. So a is equal to 2 times of k. So when I substitute this a is equal to 2k, because 2 divides a, right? So 2 divides a means a is a multiple of 2. So multiple of 2 we can represent in this form, right? So a can be written as 2 times of k. So which already we have learnt in Euclid's division lemma, right? So using that property we can represent an even number in the form of 2k. Now when I substitute a is equal to 2k, So let this be equation number 1. So when I substitute a is equal to 2k in equation number 1, what I am going to get? 2 times of b square is equal to 2k times, so 2k whole square. Now this I can write it as 2 times of b square is equal to 4 times of k square. Now this 2 in 4, it gets cancelled 2 times. Now from this, what I can say? I can write b square is equal to 2 times of k square. B square is equal to 2 times of k square. Now let this be equation number 2. Now if you observe this, it is nothing but in the same form like equation number 1. Now from this, what I can say? B square is equal to 2 times of k square. That means b square is equal to some even number. So b square is equal to some even number. That means what we can simply say? So 2 divides b square. So when 2 divides b square, so already from the theorem we have 2 divides b. 2 divides b. So here you can say that, so you can write b is equal to some 2 times of m. So you can write b is equal to 2 times of m. Now from this, a is equal to 2 times of some k, and b is also equal to 2 times of some m. Here m belongs to positive integers. Now from this, 2 things, so which I have rounded up. So from these 2 things, what I can say? A and b are even numbers. So when a and b are even numbers, then what we can say? The common factor, that is highest common factor of those 2 numbers is 2 again, right? So 2 divides both the numbers a and b. But initially what we have taken? So there are no common factors for a and b. But here what we got? But here the common factor of, that is nothing but, so this symbol represents GCD or HCF. So HCF of these 2 numbers is equal to 2. From this 2 things we got HCF of a and b is equal to 2. But initially what we have assumed? So we have assumed that a and b are not having any common factors other than 1. But what do we got? We got common factors a and b is equal to 2. So from this what we can say? Our assumption is wrong. So from this what we can say? Our assumption is wrong. So since our assumption is wrong, so what is our assumption? We have assumed that root 2 is irrational. But what we got? So we got that our assumption is wrong. So from this clearly, what is the method? So by contradiction method. So by the method of contradiction, we say that root 2 is not rational. So here we are not saying that it is irrational. So from this we can say that root 2 is not rational. So if a number is not rational, then only possibility is that it is irrational. So therefore root 2 is irrational number. So this is the first model, so which we have in our textbook. So using the same concept, so using the same procedure, we can prove that root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7, root 12, root 11, so these all are irrational numbers. So this is the first model, so which we have in our textbook, right? Next, moving on to one more model. So all these models are very, very important, right? Now let us move on to the next one. Show that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. Show that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So we are going to prove this. So solution. So for this also we are going to follow the same contradiction method, but these it takes some less number of steps compared to the before model. So 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So for this, what I am going to do is I am going to consider the same thing. So let assume that 5 minus root 3. So let us assume that 5 minus root 3 is a rational number. So whenever you consider 5 minus root 3 as a rational number, then clearly what I can say, 5 minus root 3 can be written as some a by b. So 5 minus root 3 is equal to some a by b, where a comma b belongs to integers and b is not equal to 0. And one more thing, here the assumption is there are no common factors for a and b. Right, now from this, on transposing minus root 3 to right hand side and transposing a by b to left hand side, what I am going to have? So this I can write it as 5 minus a by b is equal to root 3. So 5 minus a by b is equal to root 3. Now on taking LCM, so we can say that 5b minus a by b is equal to root 3. Now if you observe this carefully, a is an integer, b is an integer, right? When I do simplification, 5 times of b minus a, so 5 times of integer is integer minus integer. So integer minus integer gives me an integer, whereas denominator b is also an integer. So integer by integer is nothing but a rational number. So on left hand side, so what I am going to have? So I am going to have a rational number. But on right hand side, already we have proved that root 2 is irrational. The same way we can prove root 3 is irrational. Okay, so using that concept, already we known that root 3 is irrational. So on left hand side we are having a rational number, and on the right hand side we are having irrational number. So can a rational number will be equal to irrational number? So there is no such number which is both rational as well as irrational. So from this what we can say, LHS is, so from this LHS is not equal to RHS. So that's why our assumption 5 minus root 3 is irrational is wrong. So from this what we can say, our assumption, so our assumption is wrong. So from this clearly what we can say, 5 minus root 3 is not a rational number. So 5 minus root 3 is not a rational number, therefore 5 minus root 3 is irrational. 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So likewise we can simply prove this, because already we have proved root 3 as irrational. So by making use of the first model, so we can easily prove this second model. So if you are having anything a plus root b form, a minus root b form, so this is nothing but a plus root b or a minus root b. So whenever you are having these two forms, you can prove that these two forms are irrational numbers. So for such forms we can prove in this particular way, right? So this is one more model, so which would be asked for your board examinations, right? Next, moving on, show that 3 into root 2 is irrational. So 3 into root 2 is irrational. So we are going to follow the same steps, so there won't be any change in the steps. So initially we are going to assume that 3 root 2 is a rational number, right? So that is the first step. So from that what we can say, so when 3 root 2 is a rational, so our assumption 3 root 2 is rational, then we can write this as 3 root 2 is equal to a by b, where the HCF of a comma b is 1 and a comma b belongs to integers and b is not equal to 0. Now on doing cross multiplication, or you can directly square it on both sides and then you can do cross multiplication, or so some other way you can simply say that root 2 is equal to a by 3b. So if you want to prove, you can prove by that particular way, or you can directly shift this 3 to right hand side. So root 2 is equal to a by 3b. Now if you observe this, already we know that the left hand side root 2 is irrational, and on right hand side, so what do we have? So a is integer, so 3 times of integer is also integer, so integer by integer. So integer by integer is nothing but a rational number. So from this clearly we have irrational is equal to rational. So this is never possible, right? So from this what we can say? We can simply say that 3 root 2 is irrational because our assumption is wrong. So that we are going to write here that our assumption is wrong, and so from that we say that 3 root 2 is irrational number, right? So this is one more model, so which is very simple. Next we are having the last model, so which is nothing but in the form of root p plus root q or root p minus root q. So this is the third model. So first model is simply root p or q root p form. So this is first model, so which we have already discussed. Next the second model is p plus root q form or p minus root q form. So just the second example we have discussed, and the final model is root p plus root q is irrational or root p minus root q is irrational. So we are going to prove this. So this is somewhat different from the remaining two. So here also the same thing. So what we are going to do is, so let us assume, so we are going to assume root 2 plus root 3 is not irrational. So we are going to assume that root 2 and root 2 plus root 3 is a rational number. Then what I can say, root 2 plus root 3 I can write it as a by b. I can write as a by b, where the HCF of a comma b is 1 and a comma b belongs to integer set. A comma b belongs to integers and b is not equal to 0, right? And after this the next step, so you need to be careful. So either you transpose root 2 to the right hand side or root 3 to the right hand side. So what I am going to do is, already root 2 I have done. So in this particular situation I am keeping root 3 on left hand side, I am transposing root 2 onto the right hand side. Okay, so from this what I am going to get, a by b minus root 2. Otherwise you can transpose root 3 to the right hand side and you can keep root 2 on the left hand side as it is. Now in the next step, so what I am going to do is, I am going to square it on both sides. So on doing squaring, what I am going to get, 3 is equal to a by b minus root 2 whole square. So on left hand side we are going to have root 3 whole square. So on simplification, so this gives me 3 is equal to a square by b square plus root 2 whole square minus 2 into a by b into root 2. Now on simplification, what I am going to get, 3 is equal to a square by b square plus 2 minus 2a by b into root 2. Now this particular term contains root 2 part, so which I am going to transpose to left hand side, and this 3 I am going to transpose to right hand side. Then what I am going to have, 2a by b into root 2 is equal to a square by b square plus 2 minus 3, right? Now the next step, this I can write it as 2a by b into root 2 is equal to a square by b square minus 1. Now from this, 2a by b into root 2 is equal to a square minus b square by a square. A square minus b square by b square. On left hand side we are having b in the denominator, that b with b square, b times it gets cancelled. Now this particular 2a, when I transpose to right hand side, then I am going to have root 2 is equal to a square minus b square by 2 times of a b. Now here a is an integer, b is an integer. So integer square is integer, integer square is integer. So integer minus integer gives me an integer by 2 times of ab. So integer into integer gives me integer. So clearly this is a rational number. So this right hand side is nothing but a rational number. But we know that root 2 is irrational. So already from the example we have discussed root 2 is irrational. So can we say rational is equal to irrational? So it is not possible. So hence what we can say, our assumption is wrong. So our assumption is wrong. So from this what we can say, root 2 plus root 3 is irrational. We can say that root 2 plus root 3 is irrational. So these three types of models. The first one is, so directly you are going to have root p or q into root p form. There we need to prove that it is irrational. Next, second form is nothing but p plus root q form or p minus root q form. So here only one term contains root, whereas the third form is p plus root q, root p plus root q or root p minus root q. So these are nothing but the main forms, so which we have in this particular chapter to prove that they are irrationals. Right. In the next video we are going to discuss the exercise problems of this particular chapter. So thank you for watching the video. Stay connected with the channel.